Hello, pre-algebra. Welcome back. I hope you did well on your quiz. We are looking at graphing proportional relationships today, which is lesson 6.6. So we talked about how to find proportional relationships based on a table. So basically with that, you divide y divided by x, and all of your answers should be the same ratio, which is called the constant of proportionality. If they're not the same ratio, if any of them are not the same, it is not a proportional relationship. So today we're going to be looking at graphing. What's nice about this is if the graph is given to you, it's super easy to find if it's proportional or not based on the graph. Now, if I ask you to graph it, it takes a little bit more time. We're going to practice that today. So it's not quicker to graph it, but if you're given a graph, it is a million times quicker than have to divide the fractions. So if we look at these two graphs here, we have a blue line and a red line. I can immediately determine that the red line is proportional within less than a second. Okay? Two things that go into determining whether a line or a graph, because sometimes the graphs aren't lines, are proportional. First, it has to be a line. If it bends, curves, zigzags in any way, shape, or form, it's not proportional. Guaranteed, 100% of the time. Second, it has to go through the origin. So my line has to predictably go through the origin. Whether or not I graph that point or not, I have to be able to predict that it goes to the origin at 0, 0. The blue is a line, which is good, but it does not go through the origin, so it fails the second test. So without doing any sort of work, I can just look at this. I can check my two tests. Those are the only two things that I have to pass to make sure that I know that this is a proportion or not. So if I look at these two examples, I can see here that this passes the line test. It also passes the origin test. So this is a proportion. If I look down here at this example of a candle burning, right, it passes the line test. It is going down at a constant rate. However, it does not start at 0, so it fails the origin test. It would need to start here and go up. Okay? Now, if you are to graph these, okay, so when you make your own graphs, just draw a quick little L chart, okay? We're only dealing with the positive axis, the first quadrant. It goes 2 through 10, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Max number is 14, so I'm going to count by 5s to make it a little bit easier here. If you don't have graph paper, that's okay. Notice I don't have graph paper here. I'm just using my mouse. It's not pretty, but it'll get the job done. Notice it's not perfectly spaced, but I'm trying my best. 2, 6, 4, 8, 6, 10, 8, 12, 10, 14. And notice when I draw my line, it does make a line. However, it does not go through the origin. It would need to hit down here. Okay, so this is not a proportion. All right, over here, that's okay. So over here, this is counting by all the way up to 30. So when I do this one, I'm going to, I don't have any room over there. Let's do it over here. So I'm going to count by 10s, the y-axis, my x-axis. I'm going to go by 2s again. Okay, so 2, 6, be down here. 4, 12, 6, 18, 8, 24, 10, 30. All right, mine kind of curves a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double check these. All right, this does make a line, but because I didn't really take my time and I'm using a not graph paper, you can tell here my distances aren't quite right. It messed it up. Okay, so if you're not sure with your graph, you can just go back to doing your division. 6 divided by 2 is 3, 3, 3, 3. You can just check your proportions real quick. Normally, when we do this, we're given the graphs, so you can just check them up here like we did in the first couple examples. Now, how do we use this to determine the constant of proportionality? Okay, take any point on the graph and divide it. 6 divided by 3, y divided by x is 2. So the constant of proportionality here is 2. When you have to explain the points, you just basically tell me what it does. So 1, 2 means after 1 day, the height has grown 2 millimeters. The plane has grown 2 millimeters. Do whatever it takes to